Kids, we are so glad that you have joined us for Covenant Kids today. We have been learning about God's faithfulness, and we have another great story today. But first, let's stand up and worship together.
Everything that I need for this day. treasured by the one who loves me. I am treasured, treasured, treasured by the one who loves me. I am treasured, treasured, treasured by the one who loves me. I am treasured, treasured, treasured by the one who loves me. Hey. I can count on all of the promises. Hey, I can count on all of the promises my God promised me. He will never let go and He will never forsake me. He knows everything that I need for this day. He knows every thought and He knows me by my name. I can count on all of the promises my God promised me.
Have you ever seen someone in need and really wanted to help them, but you just didn't know how? Well, unfortunately, sometimes there are situations where you just can't give someone the help that he needs. But here's the good news. Nothing is beyond the power of God. He is good, He is God, and He is faithful. Let's explore together how God sends help to His people through the story of a little baby. Let's watch.
Welcome to Wondering Broadcast News. I'm your host, Allison. It's been a long time since the Israelites have had good news, but we at Wondering have found something to build your excitement. Grant, before we break this news story, can you recap what has been happening?
You bet, Allison. Our viewers will probably remember the names of the people that God made His unbreakable promises to. Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Jacob is the man who had 12 sons. One of those sons was named Joseph. Joseph was the one who was sold by his own brothers to be a slave in Egypt. However, God was with him and helped him rise to a position of great power. He was able to save the lives of many people, including his brothers and his father, Jacob. Then Jacob and all of his descendants moved to Egypt. They became known as the Hebrew people, also called Israel. Allison, you have the news on what happened next?
I sure do, Grant. At first, Jacob's family was happy in Egypt. They were able to care for their flocks and have more and more children. After many years, Egypt had a new pharaoh who was afraid of the Israelites because there were so many of them. Pharaoh feared that the Israelites would take over Egypt. So he instituted a terrible program of slavery. The Hebrews were treated very badly and were forced to do hard work. But then things got worse than anyone could have imagined. Pharaoh ordered that every Hebrew baby boy must be killed. Grant, tell us about one special family and what they did.
There was one Hebrew couple who gave birth to a baby boy. Despite the danger, they hid him for the first 3 months of his life. But this was harder to do as the baby grew older. The mother decided she would make a basket that could both float on water and hold the baby. She set the basket and the baby in the tall grasses along the Nile River.
We just heard that Riley has found the baby's older sister, who apparently saw what happened next. Let's go to Riley and get the scoop. Riley, can you hear us?
Yes, I can, Allison. You're right here with Riley, and we have found the baby's older sister. Please tell us more about what happened after your mom put the baby into the river.
I wanted to see what would happen. Really, I wanted to see what God would do with my baby brother. So I watched from a safe distance. His basket floated in the river near the place where Pharaoh's own daughter had come to take a bath. I was unsure what was going to happen, but then one of her servants picked up the basket and brought it directly to her. She opened the basket and looked right at him.
Pharaoh's daughter had your little brother in her reach? Oh no! She could see right away that he was a Hebrew baby, and she knew that he was supposed to be killed.
But that's when something completely unexpected happened. As my little baby brother started crying, she looked at him sweetly. She felt sorry for him. Instead of killing him, she started asking if anyone could help feed him.
Wow! Who else in Egypt could have disobeyed Pharaoh's order without being in big trouble? It was a good thing that Pharaoh's daughter found him.
Exactly. That's when I did something brave. I went over Pharaoh's daughter and her servants and asked if they would like me to find a Hebrew woman who could take care of the baby. Of course, I didn't tell him he was my baby brother.
Did she let you get someone?
Yes, so I ran home and got my mom.
You mean the baby's own mother was the one who got to take care of him?
Yes! Not only was my baby brother protected by her orders, but she also paid my mom to take care of him.
How amazing! You heard it here. Pharaoh's daughter saves Hebrew baby boy and pays the mother to take care of him. Allison, back to you.
I have the record here. Pharaoh's daughter named him Moses, which means pulled out. She named him that because she pulled him out of the river water.
Moses' mother took care of him until he was old enough to live in Pharaoh's palace. That's right, a Hebrew boy who was supposed to be killed ended up growing up in Pharaoh's own household. Years later, the Hebrew people would cry out to God for help, and God would call Moses to lead them out of slavery in Egypt. Allison, this is such a wonderful story, but there's a deeper truth that we can't take for granted.
Yes, Grant. God cares about his people and rescued Moses as a baby because God knew who Moses would grow up to become. The WIBN team is happy to share with you the truth that, just when they need it most, God sends help to his people. That's all for today's segment of WIBN, but remember, stay curious and filled with wonder.
What an amazing story of God's faithfulness. God had promised a man named Abraham that he would bless his family, and God kept his promise. That family grew and became known as the Israelites, or the Hebrew people. They lived in Egypt for a long time. In fact, the Hebrew people became so many that Pharaoh, who was the king, began to fear that they might take over his country. So Pharaoh told the Egyptians to be mean to the Hebrews and to make them work hard. The Hebrews had a lot of really bad things happen to them, but things got worse. Pharaoh gave an order to get rid of every baby boy. Around this time, a Hebrew woman gave birth to a baby boy. She hid him from Pharaoh for 3 months, and when she couldn't hide him anymore, she took the baby, put him in a basket, and placed him in a river. How do you think Moses' mother might have felt as she watched her baby floating down the river? Fear? Sadness? Worry? I bet she felt all of those things. Well, Moses' sister decided to follow the basket as it floated down the river. She saw Pharaoh's daughter, a princess, stop and pick up the basket. Moses' sister approached the princess and offered to get someone to feed the baby, and the princess agreed, and so the baby's sister ran home and brought back her mother. Moses' very own mother, who had just picked him up and placed him in a basket and put him in a river, got to take care of him. This story is full of examples of how God helped his people. He helped Moses by saving him from death. He helped Moses' family by allowing them to protect their baby and even care for him as the princess took him as her son. And as Moses grew up, we see how God helped the Hebrew people through him. God rescued Moses as a baby because he knew who Moses would grow up to become. God cares for his people and sends them help when they need it. Perhaps God has sent help to you. Maybe it was help keeping your temper under control when something went wrong. Maybe it was giving you peace during a time that life seemed to be spinning out of control. Or maybe there's a situation you're facing right now where you could really use God's help. Maybe a bully's making your life difficult, or someone in your family is sick and you'd love to see that person healed. Whatever it is, today we discovered that God is faithful to send help to those who love and obey him. All right, Covenant kids, God knows you, God loves you, and God leads you. Now go change your world.
Hey Covenant kids, it's time for our word of wonder. It goes like this. So I want you to realize that the Lord your God is God. He is the faithful God. He keeps his covenant for all time to come. He keeps it with those who love him and obey his commandments. He shows them his love. And that is from Deuteronomy 7:9. Okay, so now we're gonna do it again, and this time I'm gonna say a line, and then I want you to repeat it after me to help you remember. Okay. So I want you to realize that the Lord your God is God. He is the faithful God. He keeps his covenant for all time to come. He keeps it with those who love him and obey his commandments. He shows them his love. Deuteronomy 7:9. Great job.